Hey everybody, welcome back to the Dungeon Dive. Daniel here. I hope you're doing well, and if you're not, I hope you are soon. Okay, today something a little different. We are going to be taking a quick look at a handful of online resources that I find useful when playing Mork Borg solo. Or you probably could use some of these for any kind of OSR game, but these are things that I use quite a bit. And I wanted to share those with you, and I wanted to ask if there was any other online resources that you guys enjoy. So if there are, please let me know. I will post links to each of these in the description below so you can also access them. So the first one up here is from a blog, Nerdomancer of Dork. And this is just a really simple old school armor class conversion table. And for those of you who know some OSR games, some old school games, they use an ascending armor class. Some use a descending armor class. Some have the armor classes start at 9. Some have them starting at 10. Lamentations of the Flame Princess has it starting at 12. So this is just a really handy chart that just shows you what you would need to convert all of those different armor class systems into whatever game you are playing. Very useful, and I do enjoy this a lot. Okay, and then the second website here is called Dungeon, and this is a random dungeon generator for Mork Borg, and it uses that similar system that has been described before in Solitary Defilement in this 4 special room system, where for a solo game or even for a multiplayer game, when you go into a dungeon, the players are trying to locate 4 special rooms, and the 4th special room is the end of the dungeon. And so this is a really quick way to generate the dungeon. And all you have to do is press click to enter, and it'll generate a whole new random dungeon. So here we have the Unhallowed Maze. Status: inactive because a random misery was fulfilled. Imminent danger: berserkers are appearing. Who or what dwells here now? Dissident courtiers, dedicated to the occult. What brings you here? Eyes of an icon have been stolen by thieves that dwell here. What's the entrance like? 7 dead trees in the valley of the unfortunate undead surround a simple door. What is the entrance guarded by? A small ruined basilisk claiming he is her father. Distinctive features: ceiling coated with syrupy dripping acid. And then we have the 4 special rooms that we will be looking for on this journey. So room 1, inscriptions. The motifs are childish, a sudden cry. Room 2, walls splattered with paint. Wall holes shoot poisonous arrows. Room 3, a broken flute, rotten plank with rusty nails. And room 4, sacrificial altar with fresh blood. Plant of the senses. Really handy. I love this so much, and all you can just keep clicking and clicking and clicking, and you will get just so many cool random dungeons. And then you can also click this button here if you want to print them out. So what I did is I printed a whole bunch, and I have like a binder full of just these kind of like very simple random dungeons to go through in Mork Borg. Now, on these, there are really there's no random tables, there are no monsters, there are no things to encounter. But if you go over to Dungeon Stock, and this is by 1d10+5, the same guy who created Solitary Defilement, and he created this this generator that will populate the dungeons that you can generate using the dungeon generator. And so here, this is on his itch.io page. And if you run the generator, you will get a whole bunch of random tables that you can use for encounters in your dungeon. You can pick a theme. So let's say we wanted Graventosk theme. Give me death. You click that, and then it generates a dungeon. So here we have our common encounters, which is a D6. And we have a whole bunch of different monsters, useful item charts, all kinds of cool things that we can encounter. A desiccated spyrite, a giant cadaver bird, D4 meta roaches, and if the stats aren't listed here, it'll list where the stats are found. So, or the meat roaches, I should say. D4 meat roaches are found in the Ferritory supplement. Here we might find some useful items, or maybe twice grown corpse flies. And then we have D6 random encounters. So we have a Noble Necromancer, a Spectral Husk, an Earthbound core, page 70. That's from the core book. The Undertaker, GLW. GLW down here is Graves Left Wanting. So it'll also have a little legend down here so you can tell which book these certain things are from. D4 Twice Grown Corpse Flies, Occult Treasure, Core, Appendix I, and then some NPCs that we can meet. And just a little quick synopsis or a little quick description. Onat is a shy monk with a branding iron. So really, really handy. All kinds of different themes that we can pick. And like before with the dungeon website, you can just click and just keep randomly generating random encounters over and over again. And then I also printed these out and I paired pages from this with the dungeons. So I would have a very, very easy way to quickly flip to a page in a binder to have random dungeons with random encounters. Finally, or actually there's going to be two more. But if you wanted to just have a whole bunch of random tables to use for Mork Borg, this Tablemonger website is super, super cool. All it is a list of tables. We have these subcategories over here. We have Lost Souls, All, Monsters and Miscreants, Plots, Portents and Lies, Powers and Weirdness, The Dying World, and Treasures and Trinkets. And if we open these up, we have a whole bunch of different random tables in each of these subcategories. We have D6 Cursed Skinwalker Animal Forms, or D10 Problems with your replacement arm or leg. Maybe D20 Descriptions of a new PC instantly arriving in the game. Fingers sprout from the ground like worms, and his claws their way from the dirt. D20 More Unheroic Feats. So there we have a whole bunch of unheroic feats there. Tormented Toymaker Toys. We have a whole bunch of monsters. D4 Creatures that might kill you in the night in the woods of Sarkash. Very cool. D6 Boss Monsters. 1001 Goblins. One of them has a crown and deals extra damage. If you kill the one with the crown, another goblin will put it on. You can only lose. Oh, that's hilarious. The Reassembled Living Smoke. All right, and then what else do we have here? D4 Creatures that might kill you in the night. That one we looked at. D10 Wretched Beasts. The Loose Bowels. Some sort of intestinal horror emerged from the nearest sewer, now looking for snacks and somehow has teeth. HP 6, morale nothing, squishy gut skin, minus D4 for his armor. Leech-like fangs, D4, will attach, automatically doing additional D4 damage per round until killed or removed with a DR14 strength check. Smells putrid, probably tastes worse. Maybe you get infected. Then we have here Plots, Portents, and Lies. Let me close up these tables up here. So Plots, Portents, and Lies. D6 Dreams and what to learn from them. D6 Reasons why that couple of cutthroats is following you. D10 Miserable Adventure Hooks. This is really cool. I love this. D10 Side Quests that the shopkeeper sends you on in exchange for a special item. All kinds of these charts, almost every one of these charts could be used to generate some kind of solo adventure. D20 Misfortunes. D20 Reasons the PCs are sentenced to death. D100 Counters behind a magic door. Really, really cool stuff here. Powers and Weirdness. D2 Incredible Things people have shouted in praise of the horse named Bartholomew. What do we have here? D6 Things crawling under your skin. D10 Cursed Narcotics. D12 False Blessings that turn into curses. D20 Curses that turn humans into monsters. And then we have the Dying World. So we have all kinds of legends, strange, just all things that you could use to populate your world. D8 Galgenbeck Souvenirs that you shouldn't have bought. Heretics Charcoal With the Inquisition burning heretics in their hundreds, there's no shortage of this fleshy coal-like substance on the souvenir stalls that line the pyre squares. Can be used to write or burn, but more often, another thought crosses the minds of the starving scum. Oh man, that's dark. D12 symbols of heretical cults, 7 vertical scratches hastily carved on door frames or corpses, 8 to 1 emblazoned over the great wolf that devours Verhu. And then finally, we have treasures and trinkets, D6 masks, D10 books you should eat before you die, D10 items you'd find in a river of tar, D10 trophies of vampire keeps from their victims. Yeah, very cool stuff. I wish these were all printed out in a big, fat, like really well-designed Mork Borg book. That would be awesome. But having them here is super cool. Very, very useful. And then finally, I did want to show one thing that's not especially made for Mork Borg, but it is kind of cool if you want to draw out some dungeons. And I'm not versed really well in this program yet, but it is a super cool thing on itch.io where you can generate dungeons. And let's see if this will work. Yeah, here we go. It has a nice little starter. There is some a little bit of tutorial built into the website, but you can start drawing things and it will very easily create dungeons for you, and it'll automatically connect the rooms and all of that kind of stuff. So pretty useful. I think it could be used for a lot of fun. People who are much better at this kind of thing than I am, I'm sure will get even more use out of it. But you have like stairs going down or up. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I like this. It's neat. I could see this being very useful. I could see some people getting really into this and creating dungeons. You know, you could start with this, kind of get an idea of how your dungeon is going to be laid out with the special rooms, and then you could look at this and figure out what is going to be in those rooms and maybe populate different areas in here with those random encounters and the information from this dungeon. So very useful stuff here. The AC conversion table for OSR armor class, the dungeon generator, the random encounter generator for a dungeon, a whole mess of cool random encounter tables, random tables for Mork Borg, and then this dungeon scrawl giving you the ability to create dungeons and then print them out on paper if you want to. So, all right, guys, well, I hope you enjoyed this video today. We will talk to you later. Bye-bye.